Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2025 Virtual Fabric Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Stephanie Sheridan, and I will be your host today. A few things before we get started with our presenters. First off, the fabrics that you'll be seeing here today are from our summer and fall 2025 releases. They will be in stores late 2025 into early to mid 2026. So you'll see the fabrics now and start making plans on how you want to use them, and then you can purchase them in shops late this year, early next year. Along the bottom, you'll see a Q&A box. During the presenters' presentations, please put any questions you have for any of our designers in that Q&A box. And at the end of the show, we will go through and answer all of your questions. If you put them in the chat, it moves pretty quick and we tend to lose some questions. So if you do have a question, please put it in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. To see more about any of these collections or any of our collections, please visit our website, which is bennertex.com. And when you see a fabric during the show that you absolutely love, and there's no doubt in my mind you will find at least one collection that you absolutely love, please ask for it in your local quilt shops. Your shops can order online through their local sales rep or through their favorite distributor. So with all of that being said, it is now time to begin the show. So we're going to start with Amanda Murphy, who is a Bernina expert, as well as a pattern and a fabric designer. She has 3 beautiful collections to share with you today. Both Moonlight Serenade and Twilight Serenade are fresh modern takes on elegant and classic design, and her Bernina Circa 2025 collection celebrates the artistry of stitching. First, let's take a quick peek at the fabrics, and then Amanda can tell us all about them. Hi, Amanda. So can you tell us
Hey,
more
how are
about
you
these amazing
doing?
fabrics?
Thank you. It's exciting to actually get to show them to people instead of having them be a secret, right?
Always.
You have a very active chat going on today. These
Yeah.
customers are primed. They are on it. You guys, I see you guys in the chat.
All right. We'll have our behind the scenes tech person help out
Okay,
and
I'm going to
open up.
talk while you're doing this. Okay,
Perfect.
so we have three collections we're showing. Here's Moonlight Serenade, and this is the classic blue and white collection. And it actually started shipping this month, but it had sold out before it even started shipping. So if your shop had it on order, it's possible they don't have it yet. But the good news is we have more coming in November. So it's on the boat, ready to ship again as of November. And I was going with the classic blue and white collection here. So want to go to the next slide? Okay, so here you can see the prints. This is a really tight collection. So it's only 12 prints plus 3 panels. So these are all traditional quilting cottons. And then you want to go to next. Okay, this is Twilight Serenade, and this is the follow-up collection to Moonlight. So the collections work together. Twilight Serenade does not officially ship until February of 2027. So this is something you'll see quilts of, but the collection has not shipped to shops yet. You can see they have the same prints in terms of design, but they're colored completely differently. I still have blue as a base in Twilight, and that's so shops can sell some of the Moonlight, and whatever they might have left over, they can integrate into Twilight quilts. So they work together. You want to go next? Twilight has 16 SKUs as opposed to the 12 for Moonlight. Both of them have a ruler panel. This works with my every oval quilting templates for brewers sewing. And so there's a guide, and you can learn following the guide how to do ruler work. I'm going to go next again. Okay, this is something completely new. These are panels. They're 36 inches. And Benartex did a really good job quilting, printing these. It is not easy to print a traditionally printed 36-inch panel because you have to reduce the colors to just 12 colors. So it has to be extremely well balanced. And they did a great job for the color separation. I am doing a companion piece with OESD that uses these panels, and it teaches custom quilting and I teach it on the Cumatic, which is Bernina's long arm software, or on the Bernina 990 or on the Bernina 7 series. And that class has not launched yet, but it will be launching probably late this fall. I don't have the final date. It's already filmed. It's just being edited. So that's a fun new educational program from OESD. Okay. Let's see. You guys can go next. Okay, these are wide backs that coordinate, and this is the Moonlight version, but it actually coordinates with both collections. This is a river pattern that's done in a smaller scale in the 42-inch fabrics, but in the wide back, this is a bigger scale print. Okay, next. Whoops, we went past. These are it's still the same scale, but these are the wide back prints for Twilight Serenade. So you can use the cream and the blue or these three colors in Twilight. And thank you to Benartex for making this possible. Okay, I'm going to show you quilts now. So we're going to start with Mini Twirl and Twirl, and you can see it in both collections. Twirl is 72 inches. Mini Twirl, I think, is more like 36 inches, so it's more like a wall hanging. And you can make both in both collections. And Twirl is a best-selling pattern for me. The trick here, it's foundation piece, but no seams have to meet. Next. Okay, this is Edelweiss. Edelweiss is the quilt behind me, and it caught the attention. It was the focus of my booth, both at Market and Bernina University. I designed it for the new Bernina 990 because you can do that big flower in just one hooping on the 990. So this is applique in the hoop. But if you don't have a 990, say you have a Bernina 7 series or another brand that's kind of equivalent in terms of size, you could do that big flower in 2 hoopings, and then all the small flowers just are a small hooping. You can also use this for traditional applique. And here is Edelweiss in the colored collection, which I have not made yet. So it's good to see it virtually because I haven't made it. Okay, next, if you're doing a bunch of quilts, really, it's always my aim to have something for every customer. And this is a beginner quilt. So this is called Back to Basics. The blocks are huge. This is behind me as well. The blocks are 12 by 6. And this takes the first 5 blocks we usually learn to piece and just makes a sampler out of it. So I'm hoping the shops will use this to teach people to piece with a little more visual interest than some beginner quilts. So this is Back to Basics. All the patterns you've seen so far are shipping right now. There's only 1 or 2 that aren't. So that's Back to Basics, the color version behind me. This is really fun to custom quilt. And let's see, next. Okay, Fat Quarter Flow. Fat Quarter Flow is one of my best-selling beginner patterns, and you see why it's a beginner pattern because, you could make this in a weekend. It doesn't matter if the seams match, etc. But basically, you stack 25 fat quarters, either from dark to light, warm to cool. You cut them each into 6 rectangles. You take 1 off the top of the first pile, 2 off the top of the second. You're left with the lightest block being on top, and it works down in color, or it works from cool to warm or warm to cool, depending on how you stack the blocks. So this is Fat Quarter Flow. Next. And this is Blueberry Hill. This is only obviously for the blue and white collection, unless you want blueberries that are multicolored. But I had to make this quilt because blue and white is such a classic look. Okay, next. Okay, this is Fat Quarter Fracture, which is, in essence, a big half square triangle quilt. It's a quilt I have done for previous collections, but I thought it would look great in Twilight Serenade. And then on the right side of your screen, you see Garden Party. Now, this is one I'm working on upstairs at the moment. So this is a pattern I designed years ago, and I decided to bring back. This is not available yet, but again, the Twilight fabrics don't ship till next year. So this will be available probably at the end of this year for those Twilight fabrics that are shipping next year. It's a great one for a block of the month. This next one's called Make It 8. It's another best-selling beginner pattern. The reason it sells well is it's a great pattern when you have a feature print. And you can see how I use the feature print and then 8 other fat quarters. So even with the Cycle college fabrics, that would be a great way to not have to cut up those bigger prints. So this is Make It 8 in Twilight Serenade. I don't think I did this one in Moonlight Serenade. Okay, next. And then we have Interweave. So some of you may know Pam Mashi from Bernina. She's the serger queen. Every time I do quilts, she says, do you make that on a serger? So I always feel I have to make at least 1 quilt on a serger. This is a really, really easy quilt on a serger. And basically, you take strips of the one center fabric and you run cover and chain stitch down the strips. And then you make strip sets from those pieces. So really easy beginner. It's fun if you have a thread stash or you're just beginning to have a thread stash. This is Interweave. Okay, next. Going through as fast as I can. Bloom Tube. This is the free pattern for both collections. It's a big medallion quilt. It uses the medallion in the center, that medallion panel that I also use for the OESD class. Okay, next. And Bernina circa 2525. Now this is a small collection because only those 4 fabrics, the 3 text prints and the machine print, are shown. But then you can use Cotton Shot, which is my basics line, to coordinate with these fabrics. And you'll see the new Bernina 990s in it. And right above the 990 in the fabric is the little 3 series in the fabric. This is my 990 machine cover. That I designed, and I actually have a newer version of this where the back and sides are that newer fabric. I didn't have it when I was making the original version there. And then also I did up make it 8 in those colors. So that was kind of fun. It's always like an honor to design these fabrics for the machines. When a new machine comes out, I'm always excited to draw it and try to, the trick is to simplify it enough you still recognize the machine, um, but not too much because you don't want it to look too simple. You need it to be recognizable, but also have be printable in terms of detail. So that's make it 8 in those fabrics. And here's the free pattern for the Bernina Circus 2025, which is called Flicker. It could be done on a serger too, actually, but it's written for a sewing machine. And I think OESD and Brewer Sewing. Okay, so this was just, you can go ahead. These are just some of the coordinating things I've done for Cotton Shot, the new multi-tool, which is my new template. For Brewer, it works with Cotton Shot to create a whole cloth block. So you can see that there. Next, marking tools also for the whole cloth block. This is all Cotton Shot you're seeing here, which is my basic slide. It looks like woven cotton, but it looks like a shot cotton, basically. It looks like there's detail running through the fabric, but actually it is a quilting cotton. So it's suitable for embroidery, and OESD uses it all the time. This is Cotton Shot that just has some of my new edge to edge collections, also for OESD, which is a sister company to Benetech. So you can see I always try to cross promote the various products. And go next. There are 50 new colors of perfect quilting thread to go with Cotton Shot and to go with these fabrics, and they work beautifully with both the Twilight and the Moonlight Serenade. Okay, next. And these are just some Cotton Shot quilts. So these are the 42 newest colors of Cotton Shot, and they're more subdued than some of the other colors, but that's that colorway is very in right now. So I was just showing you guys some other things that can be made in Cotton Shot. Yeah, and that's Fat Quarter Flow in Cotton Shot. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the upcoming collections. Again, Moonlight ships, it shipped this month, but it's also shipping in November. Twilight ships in February, and Bernina Circa 2025 is already shipping to Bernina shops.
Fantastic. Thanks, Amanda. And yes,
thank you.
I saw a few comments. You had said 2027 because I know you schedule out.
Oh, sorry,
2 years in advance.
I was on another meeting. Yeah, I was on another meeting today, and we were talking about 2027. My years are totally off. Sorry. Twilight ships in February of 2026.
See, so you don't have that long to wait. I know a lot of you were like, oh no, we have to wait that long. Just a few months and it'll be in shops.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks so much, Amanda.
Thank you.
So we're going to move on to our next presenter. And we're going to ask you to get ready for your next summer barbecue with designer Andi Metz. Her hot stuff collection is full of summertime favorites in bright colors and beautiful detail. Hi, Andi, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks, Stephanie. I'm happy to be here and really excited to talk about my barbecue collection. I was once again excited when they asked me to do something that is related, something that I love to do. My husband likes to barbecue and smoke. So I was able to include lots of great things that I grow in my garden and lots of great things that he likes to cook on the smoker. So it was really a fun collection to create, and it's going to be great for summer. One of my favorite fabrics is this stripe fabric because it's very bold and it shows all the great things that we put on the stuff on the smoker and the barbecue. And the other thing that I really love about the collection is the plaid, because it's a little bit different and it comes in 3 colorways. It's a smaller type of plaid, and I think you can make a lot of great accent pieces with that. And Stephanie, you have a video to show of the stuff that I created with it, if you want to show that now. Hi, I'm Andi Metz, and I've ditched my sewing room for the day, and I'm outside where we like to grill and barbecue and spend our summer nights. I wanted to show you today things I've made with my newest fabric collection called Hot Stuff. The collection emphasizes barbecue, summer vegetables, and all the things you like to do when you have a summer gathering. When they gave me the theme of barbecue, I was really excited, thought it was perfect because my husband likes to grill and uses smoker. He makes the best jerky that everybody loves. And I grow so many vegetables in my garden, I couldn't wait to start painting. This apron is made from a panel. It's very easy to sew. You just have to cut out the pieces, finish the edges, and sew on the straps, and you're ready to go. Ideally, you'll have a hunky grill master that can wear it at your next barbecue. The free pattern that I created for the collection is called Eat Your Veggies, and it uses 3 fabrics. The vegetable toss, based on the vegetables I grow in my garden, the plaid, and a white. It's a rather quick quilt because it's 1 block rotated in different directions. I'm not going to finish it as a quilt. I'm just going to put a backing on it and use it as a tablecloth. Another quilt that I made for the collection is this Bargello-like quilt, but I'm not going to use it as a quilt. I'm going to use it as a picnic blanket or a tablecloth. It uses more of the fabrics from the collection. It's bright and fun. It also comes with instructions how to make this barbecue banner that's great for any of your summer gatherings. I did make some placemats, so I'm hoping to do the math and add some instructions to make 4 placemats into this pattern. For those of you who've seen my fabric before, you know that my sister likes to sew as well, and she makes a lot of my samples. She made this quilt that focuses on the iced tea toss, the black and the white, and I think it turned out rather fun. Some of the other things that my sister and I created with the fabric are pot holders, which of course pot holders are very important when you're dealing with hot stuff. We also made some bags that you can keep your utensils in. It has some elastic inside, so if you're just going to travel outside or if you're traveling to a picnic, you can put your items that you need in here, maybe some of your barbecue sauces or rubs. And I think the bags turned out really cute. As in other collections, my mom made some more tea towels, and I think they turned out great. They're bright and fun. And there's some hanging over here. Now, I wouldn't recommend hanging them on your grill when it's hot, but they sure look great for entertaining. My sister and I made a few other things from the fabric collection that don't really look barbecue, one of which is this baseball cap. And it's perfect for summer days when you don't feel like doing your hair. You just pull it up in a ponytail and you're ready to go. The other thing is kind of unique. I took my summer shirt jacket and removed the sleeves, traced them onto the black plaid fabric, and made new sleeves. I added the cuff back on and added a little bit of detail by the pocket, and it's perfect for chilly summer nights. If you want to see more of the things that we've created with the fabric collection, you can find my sister on Instagram at Daisy Quilt and Craft, and you can find me on Instagram at Andi's Easel. And of course, if you want to see any of the patterns, you can find them on my website at andimetz.com. I hope you enjoy creating some hot stuff with this new fabric collection. So that's all my creations that we've done with the barbecue fabric. This is the free pattern in the back, and there's the Bargello quilt and the barbecue sign. And these are the bags. Unfortunately, I gave my son the other bag and he took it home and didn't bring it back yet. So I only have this one bag to show, but they're great little bags for anything you're doing. My mom's tea towels, oh, I don't think you can see them, are here. And the striped fabric is so easy to work with when you just cut the stripes, and she just zigzags the edges, and they're great to have as decor or little gifts, hostess gifts when you're going somewhere. And I'm wearing the apron today. And again, this is really easy to make because it's just the apron on a panel, and you'll cut it out and finish the edges. So it's very quick and easy to make. And what I really loved, as I said in the video, was using the plaid, and you wouldn't even know it's part of the barbecue collection. And it was very easy. We just pulled apart a baseball hat and traced the pieces, and then made the brim to go over the original brim in the hat. So the baseball hat was pretty easy. And here was my summer jacket. And I loved the way it turned out. You know, sometimes when I'm sewing clothes, you never know if it's going to fit you exactly right. So I actually knew that this jacket fit me. So adjusting the sleeves was very easy to do. So I hope you love this collection. Once again, I was really glad to incorporate part of my life in the fabric. So there's lots of memories here for me with the garden and the smoker and everything. So I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope you love the fabric and can make some really unique things.
Thanks so much, Andi. And I know you have to run because you've got something else going on this afternoon. I did have one or two questions that people had put in the chat that I'm going to ask you now because I know you have to leave. So what fabric do you put on as backing for a tablecloth or your picnic quilt? What are you using for backing for those?
I usually use just extra fabric and any regular fabric. If I'm going to make it, I know one of my quilts that I made, I used terry cloth on the back, and that was for more like a beach towel. But usually I just use a regular fabric. And I may not put any sort of interfacing in there for the tablecloth. If I'm making the picnic blanket, I might just put a thin fleece in there.
Okay. And the other question I saw that popped up was, where can they get that free pattern again?
The free pattern's on my website at andimetz.com. I think it's up there already. If not, it's going to be up there very soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Andi, for your time. And we just popped the link to Andi's website in the chat for you.
Well, thanks so much, Stephanie.
Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
So we're going to now move on to our next presenter. I'm sure that many of you know our next guest from her popular YouTube channel. Laura Coia of So Very Easy is here with us today to tell us about her second fabric collection called Paisley Garden. It is a beautiful blend of traditional and modern design in an absolutely stunning color palette. First, let's take a peek at the fabrics, and then we'll hear from Laura.
Are you there?
I'm here. I was muted and my mouse didn't click quite right. So Laura, can you tell us a little bit more about these beautiful fabrics, please?
Oh, well, the whole fabric line started with one single color, and it was one of my favorite colors in that big box of crayons when I was a little girl. And it's that beautiful turquoise right there. When I was a little girl, I'd open up that big box of crayons, you know, with the sharpener in there, and I would take out that color, and that was the color that I loved using. And I would hide that color from my siblings so that they didn't take them. So it's one of my favorite colors, and I find it such a versatile color. You can decorate with it. It goes with grays and browns and blues, and it really is a fun color to use. So that's really what this all started with, is that beautiful color. And then I wanted something traditional, but not too traditional. And that's where the Paisley came in. So I wanted a Paisley. I wanted something that really said, "Oh, this is traditional. This is nice," but I didn't want it to look too old. So then I added some freshness of all of those beautiful flowers within the paisley and with a nice crisp background. So we have two colorways. We have the green colorway and we have a blue colorway. So I have the green one here. So then I've taken this and have added some lovely little flowers, because you need to have a fresh flower to go with that. And then, of course, we need some smaller flowers because we need some different things. Like, how cute are those little things? And then, no collection is not complete, in my opinion, without a polka dot. I'm all about the polka dots, but I like polka dots that are random, that are not in line. And that way, they're so easy to use and they don't look like it. And this polka dot, it's got more than polka dots in it. If we look really close, are you ready? Can you see the little daisies? Are they not adorable? I love the little daisies. It's just a fun thing, sort of like a little surprise that is done. And then we added some solid issues, a tone on tones. So here is an example of some. You see those, aren't they pretty? So they have a big depth in color, but they're not bold. You know, they have a softness to them, but they have a depth to them. And it's a tone on tone. And when you look at the pattern, you can see there's different shapes in it. So look, you've got this little flower here, but then you have a larger shape, but then you also end up with these square shapes. So this is one that you're able to fussy cut or just cut it randomly. So you don't really have to worry about, my following lines. You're just able to go and have some fun with it. So the free pattern that I designed for this is this one here. Ta-da! And it is your dove in the window, but I changed the pattern slightly. It looks like the traditional dove in the window, but there's some simple ways of doing that. There's also a free video on how to make this quilt, and that's going to come up when the fabric is released somewhere around January and February. So it's a really fun pattern to use. So regardless if you're using the bluer line like this one or the green one, it's going to be able to combine together. And a lot of the colors do match. Now, saying that, I do want to just pull in quickly the pattern line that just released this month. And this is the one that released this month. Now, this one comes also in a blue and a green line. And a lot of the fabrics will mix with this new line. So this will go with the new line, and we'll go with the new line, and go with the new line, and go with the new line. And then the old one will go with the new line. So we have if you wanted to darken it or lighten it. So a lot of the colors are going to be able to cross over. So, yeah, I mean, because I love to have fabrics that from one collection that you can pull over into the next, and colors that sort of, um, to me, they kind of read like a solid, but they're not. And that's where these come in. So, and then the, so you'll be able to see, even though they're two different colors, they do kind of, they're going to go together. So it's going to make it really easy to combine some of those colors. If you have a little bit left over, you're going to be able to have those all come in. So those are the fabric lines. The one that's just coming out, I'm also going to do a new video on, and I'm going to be doing this quilt that I've done before. It's a quilt as you go clamshell. So it's a fun quilt to do, and it just sort of will blend these all together. But Paisley Garden, I love the fabrics. I love the Paisleys. I just think they're fun. They're fresh. I think it would be fun for clothing. This would make a nice big circle skirt, but you could also pull it into household items as well. So that is the new line, and I do hope you guys enjoy it.
Thanks so much, Laura. Yeah, now my quilt designer brain is clicking and I'm thinking, oh, I hadn't realized that I could use those two lines together. So now I want to go home and play and start putting those two lines together and see what I can come up with. I feel
Yeah,
challenged. This is
there you
awesome.
go. I love a challenge.
All right, so everyone, we're going to take a short break right now between our presenters and share a quick poll with you. Now, if you answer the question in the poll, those of you that are live here on Zoom with us right now, you will have a chance to win a fabulous fabric prize. We'll be picking 3 winners that answer our poll question, and we'll announce your name at the end of this session and reach out to you to get your address and send you a fun, fabulous fabric prize. So, oh, how many quilt fabric projects do you create each year? Ooh, this is a great question. It should be how many do you start and how many do you finish? Because I know those two numbers are very, very different, aren't they? All right. So now that everybody's had a chance to answer their poll, I just wanted to remind everyone that these fabric collections that you're seeing today will be in stores late 2025, early 2026. But if you're looking to do some fun sewing this fall, please take a look at these seasonal fabrics that are perfect for your holiday fabrics. We do have a video for you. These are our fabrics that were used by our ambassadors to create Christmas and More in July projects.
Celebrate the season with Benartex's holiday collections, each one designed to inspire joy and creativity. First, All Hallows Eve by Jim Shore brings classic folk art style to Halloween with timeless charm. Happy Haunting by Canvas adds playful fun with glow-in-the-dark prints that light up every spooky project. Step into Enchanted Forest by Andi Metz, where woodland friends and cozy designs capture the beauty of autumn. With Give Thanks by Nicole DeCamp, gratitude and gatherings shine in warm harvest tones. Modern Vintage, treasured by Rachel Rossi, blends elegant florals and timeless textures for a fresh take on tradition. Beautiful Harvest by Shannon Roberts celebrates chalk art style with bold, rustic prints made for Thanksgiving and beyond. For Winter Wonder, Woodland Wonderland by Nicole DeCamp combines festive greenery with whimsical animals. And Owl Be Home for Christmas by Jessica Flick brings cozy charm with sweet owls and snowy florals. A Winter's Day by Jackie Robinson captures serene elegance in shades of blue and white. Holiday Tidings by Canvas sparkles with metallic accents and festive motifs. And Winter Wonders by Canvas delivers classic Christmas patterns with a shimmering touch of magic. From Halloween to Christmas, autumn gatherings to winter's beauty, these collections are ready to inspire your next masterpiece. Benartex. Create, inspire, delight.
So there's some inspiration for you for your fall sewing. And if you go to our blog, you can find all of those projects, links to all of those projects that our ambassadors created. So next up, we had planned to have Rob Appell here with us to show us his next collection. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today, but we do want to share the final installment of his amazing Worlds Anthology with you. The last collection in the anthology is called Groundworks, and it is the final piece that brings all of the worlds together. All right, so next we have one of our newest fabric designers with her very first fabric collection. Belle of Seam Sew Me is here with us to share Montgomery Mountain Charm, as well as her Blissfield Superior Solids bundle. Belle was inspired by the beauty of where she grew up and still lives, Montgomery County, Arkansas. Hi, Belle, welcome to the show.
Hi, Stephanie. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with all of you for the first time to debut and talk about my first fabric collection, Montgomery Mountain Charm. You'll see some of the things behind me, which I'll also have in a PowerPoint in a few moments. But first off, we're going to share with you the video that really brings you into my world and takes you on the story about each print and the inspiration on how I came up with this collection. It's near and dear to my heart, and it's interesting how this came about because I found out after the fact that two things were trending, which will be helpful for you as fabric shop owners. One is the classy farmhouse style, as well as the color yellow. So this was already designed and being printed when I found those out at a trade show. So two things to remember from a marketing perspective is the farmhouse style and the color yellow are trending for the next year or so. So I think what we're going to do next is my dear quilt husband put together a wonderful video to bring you into my world to share about this collection. And then after that, I'll show you a slideshow with some of the projects that were featured at Quilt Market that myself and some of my dear designer friends made.
Hi, I'm Belle Brunner of Seam Sew Me. I'm a quilt pattern designer, quilt retreat owner, and designer of Montgomery Mountain Charm, my first fabric collection with Benartex. This collection is a heartfelt tribute to the natural beauty and the quiet warmth of Montgomery County, Arkansas, where I grew up and where I still call home today. Inspired by the wild wonder of the Ouachita National Forest and the mountains I explored as a child, this 25-piece collection tells a story of belonging, of home, and of the sweet, simple charm you'll only find here in rural Arkansas. Let's start with the heart of the collection, the Montgomery Mountain Floral. This hero print captures the cheerful spring wildflowers and greenery that pop up all over the county. Who needs a florist when you can pick your own bouquets full of beautiful spring flowers? It comes in 2 colorways, with a white and a cream background, which is also available as a wide back. This print is perfect for quilt backs that make a statement or even a lovely spring dress. Next is the Belle Toile, a deeply personal print. It tells the story of the property where I grew up, full of time in the family swing under the trees, with squirrels and rabbits passing by, and plenty of sounds of the whippoorwills singing at dusk. I named the print Belle Toile after the old bell that my grandparents rang when it was time for my brother and I to come home after playing deep in our 45 acres of forest. And coincidentally, it's also my nickname. This one comes in 3 beautiful colorways, plus a teal wide back option. Where there are flowers, you'll always find butterflies. Flutterby is inspired by my childhood attempts to catch them, and those same lovely butterflies still perch on my garden flowers today. This print comes in 3 soft colorways, especially perfect for baby and children's quilts. Charming Forest is a playful nod to the creatures of our woods. In Montgomery County, the forest is alive with movement. Rabbits darting through the brush, owls tucked away in the trees, and squirrels munching on nuts and seeds. This one comes in 2 bold colorways that bring that woodland whimsy to life. Mountain Floral Toss brings in some of my favorite watercolor artwork. These little flowers are ones I often pick and tuck into vases around the house. And when I was a little girl, they made the best fairy crowns. 2 airy colorways make this print gentle and relaxing. Remember blowing on dandelions and making a wish? Wildflower Dreams is full of that same playful spirit. You'll find these sweet florals all across the county, and now in 3 dreamy colorways that are also especially sweet for baby and children's quilts. Mountain Foliage was inspired by the red berried bushes growing all around our property. The birds love them, and so do I. This versatile blender comes in 3 soft, nature-inspired colorways. Welcome Weave was born from the welcome mat still sitting at the back door of my childhood home. This is a print that pairs beautifully with solids to create striking modern quilts. This one comes in 3 bold colorways. Ouachita Stripe is dedicated to my father. In our community, wood is everywhere, especially in my father's workshop, where stacks of lumber are always a familiar sight. This stripe reflects the rhythm of this beautiful natural resource that so many in our community use. I created it as a great option for quilt binding, and it comes in 3 strong grounding colorways. Lastly, the collection wouldn't be complete without this quartz crystal canopy print. Montgomery County is world famous for its quartz crystals. You can even find them glistening on the Florist 4. This fun modern print captures that local sparkle and brings the collection full circle. Montgomery Mountain Charm really has something for everyone. Nature lovers, storytellers, and quilters who cherish a sense of place and home. And to make things even better, I've created a coordinating 16 fat quarter solids bundle called Blissfield, carefully curated to match this collection. Montgomery Mountain Charm comes with a free PDF quilt pattern to make an entire quilt top plus scrappy binding, using just the 25-piece bundle. This collection is my love letter to home, and I hope it helps you stitch something beautiful that feels like home to you too. Thanks for joining me, And until next time, quilty friends, make lovely things.
Make lovely things. It's what the end of that video says, which is my slogan. You guys are going to make me cry. I was reading all the comments here. Y'all are so sweet. It is a collection that's been on my heart for a while, and I'm so glad that it's resonating for so many of you in the comments. Before I start the slideshow, many of you are asking about this dress, and it is in the slideshow. My dear quilty friend, Maud the Retro Quilter, made this for me, and it has different belts you can change. So the welcome weave, this is in the really pretty gold. I also did it in the teal and then the color of the dress. So you'll see that here in a few moments, but she made this and it's got pockets. It's just really pretty. I wore it all 3 days at Quilt Market, and it didn't bother me one bit because she put so much love into it. So I'm excited to show you some of the garments and things you can make besides just quilts with this collection. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to walk you through some of the things that were in the booth at Quilt Market, some of the things that you can make, and answer any questions that you may have as well. So let's go ahead and share the screen here. All right, you see that okay, Stephanie? Great. All right, well, this is me when it first arrived here to my studio and getting to see, you know, my name on the selvage and feel it. I was so excited here. So we're going to get started with some of the projects that you can make with this collection. So it is a 25-piece fat quarter bundle, or 40, I'm sorry, it is a 25-piece collection. It also comes in a fat quarter bundle, and it also will come in the 10 by 10s. And there's also 2 wide back options. So that's everything together. You again can see my dress is made in the beige colored of the hero print there. This is the booth at Quilt Market, and I was so excited. It was the first time to make one, but everything you see in the booth for the most part, you're going to see in the slideshow to show you some of the projects that you can make. If you're a quilt shop owner, some of these things you could teach some of the classes. So if you need ideas on, well, what could we make with the collection, I'd like to be able to show you how versatile it is, not only for quilts, but also for garments. And if you want to be able to see the full video, Quilt Husband videoed day 1 of Quilt Market, and he shows you the entire booth. So you can hop on over to my YouTube channel, Thread Life with Belle, and watch day 1 to be able to see all of this. So we'll start out with Montgomery Stars. This is the quilt behind me you saw a few moments ago. This will be a free PDF quilt pattern available in January for quilt shops. It'll be available for the public later in February. You use the entire 25 fat quarter bundle to make this entire top. And as you can see, it's the traditional double sawtooth star. This actually, I've really liked creating this, even though it's a traditional block, because you can see all of the prints within it. And I'll walk you through in this free pattern the video tutorials on how to separate your lights and your darks so you can have contrast within your double sawtooth star, and also the video tutorial on how to make the inner and outer blocks. Benartex has this as a kit available, so you can order the 25-piece fat quarter bundle and the pretty Washita stripe binding, and you can be able to use the free pattern to be able to kit that and sell it in your shop. This quilt is 60 by 60. The next quilt is Montgomery Ribbon, and this will be a paid pattern that will be available in January for quilt shops. You can find all of this on the wholesale tab on my website, as well as you'll be able to get them with major distributors at that time. It'll be available for purchase to the public in March. Then I want you to be able to see that this is a yardage friendly quilt. And the nice thing about this is I combined and brought in those bliss-filled solids I told you about. There are 6 of those colors in this. You can see within the diamonds of each row. And I really love being able to make this quickly. So I cut these fabrics on a Friday and stitched this up on Saturday and Sunday. So it is a quick make. It comes in a baby size as well as a throw size. And again, it comes with video tutorials that are included in my pattern. All of my patterns have video tutorials because I want people to have joy and not frustration when making a quilt, particularly if you're a visual learner like me. This is the Bliss-filled 16 fat quarter bundle. You can see I've got 3 of them stacked there, and we were so excited to add 40 new Bliss-filled or 40 new solid colors. and 16 of them are in the Blissfield bundle. This is my ever favorite popular pattern, Dueling Diamonds. It is on my website now and available through distributors, but you can make this entire quilt top out of 1/16 fat quarter bundle of the Superior Solids. Again, this one is called Blissfield. And you also could even pull in some of the fat quarters from the 25-piece bundle and this, and you can mix and match. It's yardage, jelly roll, and fat quarter friendly. In the lookbook, when this released just a couple of months ago, you'll see the mock-up. So you'll see Dueling Diamonds again. This version here looks quite different than the one you just saw. This is with prints, and this one uses yardage in this particular version. Then there's Friendship Blooms. And although this looks like there's curves in there, there are not. Those are really pretty applique flowers on top of really large pieced blocks. I'm excited to make this one soon whenever the background fabric comes in. You'll also notice lovely pinwheels. This is another quilt of mine. I've pulled in some of those lovely pinks for a child's quilt, maybe a little girl if they like pink. It comes in 2 different sizes. This version here that's shown is the child size. And then lastly, Posy Chain is another quilt of mine, and I've shown it there in a yardage version and then also a fat quarter version. Now let's get into some of the garments. So some of my friends actually made the samples for me for Quilt Market, and they were there. The first one is the Elemental Coat by Teresa Coates, and I know everyone knows about this pattern. It was designed for quilters who want to make garments and maybe we're not quite the best at it yet. So this was in the booth there. Also the Hestia apron by Jane Klaus. This pattern will be available in January on her website, and this is also the one that's next to me right now as I'm talking, and it is so cute. All you really need to do is put on maybe a black top and pants, and this is your outfit for any party that you host. It's kind of stands all on its own. I'm excited to make one for myself because I have to send this back to her tomorrow. The next one is the dress I'm wearing right now, and this was me standing over an air vent at the market. My husband snapped that picture of me doing a little Marilyn Monroe, and it was kind of funny. But this is the Maria dress, and it's by Charm Patterns by Gertie. Again, my friend Maud, the retro quilter, made this for me. And then lastly, the twirly gig skirt. If you're familiar with Laura with Slice of Pie, she also designed the exploding heart pattern. This is her twirly gig skirt. So you can see both of those. This was taken from the booth, and you could use a thinner batting or a fleece in that skirt if you want it thinner, but this is a quilted skirt and it has an elastic waistband. Teresa Coates also teaches these classes to make this coat as well, and she uses you can use a Hong Kong binding technique for this. It's a really lovely coat in 3 different lengths. This is Jane's apron, the Hestia apron. It is beginner friendly. You can actually do different applique on the pocket on the front. It also has a video tutorial that will be available, and she'll be selling this wholesale in January. And I absolutely love those bows on the back. Here is the Maria dress, and like I mentioned, we used 3 different prints to have 3 options to swap out the belts. And you can see the fabric, Maud washed the fabrics first, but the fabrics are so soft that you can make lovely dresses and garments out of this. This is the Montgomery floral print in cream, as you can see, and it just really lays nicely and feels really nice. Some totes that I made that you all can make. This is one of the favorite classes that I teach. This is my River Glen pattern. I often teach this as a pillow, but also you can make it into a tote. So I actually used the Belle Toile in the beige for the lining, and I actually use French seams. That is my favorite way to make totes because you don't have to mess with all that turning the lining inside out and such. It's one of my most requested classes, and a lot of fabric shops are teaching this when they can't really have me come in to do that. And it is a great pattern to fussy cut. This is the Sun Patch crossbody bag I made the day before Quilt Market with scraps, and I used 12-weight Aurifil thread to get some really nice thick stitching on there. The pattern is by Minky Kim. She also has a video tutorial for that. You can go to her website to find that. And I loved using the Washita stripe for binding. As you noticed, I used that quite a bit for binding on things. And then I used the welcome weave for the bottom of the bag. Another bag, this was made by my friend Tamara of Remy Belle Studio. This is her Maggie Poppins bag tote, and she is just wonderful at putting these together. She just has such beautiful craft womanship. She also picked all of my lovely yellows to be able to make this bag. So she picked all the yellows in my prints, and that is another option for a bag as well. And then many people are familiar with the patchwork duffel. This is also in the Trends Lookbook. This is a pattern by Caitlin of Knot and Thread, and this is available to use for yardage or patchwork versions. Other fun makes that I made for the booth were placemats. These are double pointed Dresdens. I got these placemats off of Amazon. They're burlap, and then I pulled out the different color palettes and actually mix and match those prints in those colors to be able to create these. And stay tuned. When my next collection releases, there will be a pattern that has to do with double pointed Dresdens. A few other things that were really fun is putting the toile in embroidery hoops. And although I didn't have time, I will be using thread to outline a lot of the images in those hoops to embellish those. So that can be really fun to do. Also, milk glass pincushion. That is a fun project that you could teach at your quilt shop. I also have a tutorial on my YouTube channel, Thread Life with Belle, on how to make these. You can store all of your quilty tools all the way around there. Coming soon is this tutorial on how to make the scrappy fabric flowers. And I just used all the scraps from the Blissfield bundle and then also the Montgomery Mountain Charm there. And lastly, these darling fabric butterflies, which make a really cute garland, as well as maybe decorations for baby showers or in children's rooms. So if you want to find everything about the collection and me, you can go scan this QR code. It will take you to my website. You could also type in seamsewme.com, and you'll be able to find where I'm at on YouTube, social media, my patterns, and a little bit about myself. So that is the collection, and you can see some of the things are actually behind me here that I shared in the videos also. So I'm so glad to be here to release the first collection. Thank you for all of your support, Bennertex, as well as many of you that I can see have joined. This collection is really versatile. Even if you pulled out a couple of the prints, the quartz crystal canopy, the welcome weave, and the stripe, those can be combined with some of the solids and will work really well for those of you that maybe have quilters that like more modern type fabric. You can pull out those for that kind of look. And then if you combine it, of course, with the full collection, you're going to have a little bit more of that Southern charm, that classy farmhouse style. All right, back to you, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Belle. I absolutely adore this whole collection, and it's been a real joy to accompany you on this journey from being one of our ambassadors to now one of our fabric designers. So thank you so much for allowing us to join you on this journey.
Well, thanks for all your help. And this ships to shops in March. So this is a spring collection for those of you asking. You'll have to wait till spring.
Yep. But you can plan all winter long and be ready for spring.
And ask your fabric shops to go ahead and pre-order it now.
For sure. All right. So last but not least, we have designer Pat Sloan with her So Charming collection. These fabrics capture the whimsical spirit of cottagecore style in sweet and cozy shades of pink, blues, and greens. Unfortunately, Pat was not able to be here with us live, but she did send a video in to share the collection and the patterns with you.
This is always such an exciting event that Bennertex puts together, bringing all the designers with new lines so that you can see them and we can tell them about you here on video. So I am going to be talking to you about So Charming. Behind me is Tiny Secrets, and the quilt is called North Star in the So Emma book, the Half Yard Quilts, but the fabric line is Tiny Secrets, and I wanted to make something that was kind of like a next step from Tiny Secrets. a little bit different, but the colors will work with these, and it is kind of a similar concept of having some little critters and little things sprinkled around in it. So Charming is 16 pieces, and we're going to take a look at all of them, and then I'll transition right over and show you some patterns that my friends have done where they have showcased So Charming. Let's take a look. Let's start with the main print called Magical Moments, and I wanted to do the heart motif because I adore hearts. It is one of my favorite things, and I have these gorgeous cozy critters in here, including a little owl, which is one of my very earliest favorite images to collect. And then there's lots and lots of other hearts within here. So it's all so sweet, plus of course a few mushrooms. And this comes in a blue as well. So there is, oh, the camera did a little thingy there. So there's the blue, and you can see the images, see the cozy animals in the magical moment. Okay, next up is a stripe. And the stripe I called the forest path because, you know, in the forest you're going to have a path to get to all of the things that are going on, and it comes in 3 sets. And I have used in the past some very narrow stripes like this, and I find them to be so effective. They give a really different take when you're working with them, and I love them so much. Love that. Plus they each have quite a few colors in them, so they can go with a lot of things. Pulling in that green is so nice. Okay, this is the Meadow Picnic with the kind of medium scale that has a bunch of the different flowers kind of tossed, and they're all different directions. So this is a non-directional fabric since things are upside down and sideways and crossways, so you can just cut it and use it most efficiently. There's also some hearts and mushrooms and things like that. Plus it comes in blue. So there's the light blue version. It's kind of like that it feels like cozy blue. Okay, you got to have a little bit of flowers, and roses are my mom's favorite flower, so I wanted to include a rose. And if you've been following me for a while, you know my very first fabric line with Benartex was called Bonnie Lane, and that is my mom. And so I just thought it would be an awesome tribute to have another little rose in So Charming. This one's cool because it's a tone on tone, the pink one, and I'm loving both the green and the blue backgrounds. They'll be very, very useful. Okay, Mushroom Love. Got to throw in some mushrooms. Here we go. The blues and the pinks, and they're very tiny scale, and so they just give you almost like a dot feel or a scattery dot feel, which I really love. It's a nice little addition to have the smaller scale, because within the fabric line we have the large, the medium, and the small scale prints. And then lastly, I have the fairy games, because in the forest, of course, is where all the fairies live, and they make everything super magical and So Charming. And I have it in these 4 colorways, and this is a tone on tone, so it's like a very light well, it's like sort of like a white background, and then sort of like a more like an ivory or towards a little bit of a pale gray to give it the contrast. And there we go. There you go, the green. So there you go. That's the whole collection, and I hope that you will ask your favorite quilt shops for them. Oh, I'm so excited about it. Can't wait till you get it next year. So let's go ahead and see how my friends use these in the patterns. It is so amazing to see how my friends put together these 16 So Charming pieces of fabric into amazing quilt designs. The first one is by Joni Holton. It's a great lap size called Petal Panache, and this will be the free pattern for So Charming. Isn't that beautiful? I love the dots. You know I love dots. And there's like half dots all around the edges. So cute. Now we have a few of them from So Emma. This one's designed by Nova Birch, called Set Sail, and it comes in 4 different sizes. A table runner, which I can just totally see. Those shapes are so cool. They're going to be great just as a table runner. You can get a little toddler size, lap size, and queen size, all in the pattern for Set Sail. Beautiful, beautiful confetti star. And this is designed by Jocelyn Ung of It's So Emma. And you can put the largest print in the center. It's perfect, right? Beautiful in 2 colors, blues and pinks. Confetti, confetti, can't have too much confetti. Jubilee has to be one of my current favorite designs. It's also designed by Jocelyn for It's So Emma, and this one comes in 3 sizes, a crib, a lap, and a queen. I don't know, I just love the shape, and here you have like the main design is in the white, and then the backgrounds are the prints, and I just think that that makes it unusual and really makes it pop. So Marina of SoMarinaShop.com did pop art. Oh, this is so fun. Absolutely darling. She used a different color background to a flower, and then the center is the same as the background. So it just is so, so cute. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that design. Wendy's done a few of them, my friend Wendy Shepherd, and this is Cordelia. Oh, look at the in between the bigger stars are these gorgeous tulip prints, tulip shapes rather. So they are so, so darling, very, very sweet. Wendy's also done spool ready. You know, as a sewing person, as a quilter, we love our spool blocks, and this one has the thread coming off of it. That is just so fun. Great place for showing the prints off as well. And then the last one is also from Wendy called Silver Lining. Now, Silver Lining has a little bit of a special place in my heart because when Wendy and I first met, one of the things that we kind of bonded over was that at the time it seemed like it rained every Tuesday. And we both had events on Tuesday evening. And so we would write and we would go, yes, it's raining on Tuesday. And so we always have a little bit of a running joke with rain. So I don't know. I think I'm going to have to make this one for sure. Silver Lining. Thank you everybody for joining me to see the new fabric line called So Charming, and it's 16 pieces, and you can find me at PatSloanQuilts.com. YouTube is Pat Sloan, and I hope you see you there.
All right, so that was the video from Pat Sloan. And I did see there are a few questions in there. I'll do my best to answer those questions that came in for Pat since she wasn't able to be here with us live. So yeah, we're going to shift gears now and we're going to ask some questions. So I've got my Q&A screen open. Belle and Amanda, can you guys join us so that we can answer some of these questions? So the first question is very interesting. And I actually know the answer to this one. Why don't companies put identifying information on the selvage of solid fabrics? It would make it so much easier to match fabrics. And yes, I absolutely agree. It would make it easier, but our solids are a woven product, whereas our prints that you saw in the collections today are actually printed collections. So when we weave the solids, there isn't an opportunity to print anything on that selvage because they're not printed in any way, they're simply woven. Whereas Laura, Amanda, and Belle's collections are printed, we can add that information to the selvage. So that's why we don't do it. I wish we could, but unfortunately it doesn't work out that way. A question for Amanda. Will you blog about which ruler to quilt with for these patterns? Oh, you're muted.
I'm not exactly sure which patterns they mean because some of them I used rulers and some I did not. So, but I will say, like, if it's a specific panel, like a ruler panel, when I was talking about the guide, there's like a guide like this where it actually walks you through how to quilt something. So that would be like for a specific ruler panel. For quilts in general, like oftentimes I'll talk in my live stream on how I quilted a specific quilt, but some of the quilts would use rulers. Like here, I did use rulers to do the straight line quilting inside that, but here it's just an edge to edge pattern. So I didn't use a ruler. So I guess it just depends on what the panel or the pattern is. I don't know
Okay.
if that answers the question.
And I also have another question for you. Can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by a ruler panel?
So some of my panels are designed to teach specific things. So I don't think I have the ruler panel unquilted behind it, but like if you looked at, this is my the Moonlight Serenade ruler panel made up into a set of matching pouches, right? And there's a pattern for the pouch, but there's also a pattern for how to quilt the panel. And that's what I was holding up. So sometimes I'll do ruler panels that use a specific one of my good Razor rulers to teach you basically how to quilt something with rulers. Sometimes I'll do other panels, and like this is the OESD panel, and it's just a big blossom. And you could obviously free motion or use rulers for it, but you could also use it to place digital designs. So when I'm talking about a ruler panel, that's a panel I specifically designed to teach you to do ruler work quilting, because one of the things I'm known for are my rulers. So those panels, when I say it's a ruler panel, it's specifically designed like with a guide to teach ruler work quilting. Then sometimes I do other panels that are designed to teach things other than ruler work. Does that answer the question?
I hope so. Okay, so the next question I have is for Laura. Laura, can you tell us a little bit about that quilt behind you? Somebody asked about the quilt that's behind you hanging on your wall.
I do have a YouTube video on that. There is a playlist for it. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, you will see that. It's called Glorious and Free. So it's a follow along that you're able to get and see. So just go to
Fantastic. Thank you.
YouTube, find YouTube, and it's there.
And YouTube is so very easy.
Yes.
SEW, not SO.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Okay, for Belle. So this one made me laugh. Tell me you have bluegrass in your life without telling me. Dueling Diamonds. Do you have any banjo players in your family, Belle?
No, we do not. We do not, not at all. That actually has to do with the design. So it's two diamonds, but one row is upside down from the other. So they're dueling diamonds on there. Yeah. And I saw someone ask too about the retreat center. I do have a retreat center here. It's on my website.
Okay, and your website, we put it into the
Yes.
chat, but it is seamsome.com.
Seamsome.com, and has host quilting retreats here.
Okay. And let's see. Amanda, the difficulty level of Edelweiss and Blueberry Basket.
Blueberry Hill. Blueberry
Blueberry Hill
is actually a pretty easy pattern, like because pretty much all the blocks are like squares or made of squares and rectangles. They're stitch and flip corners. It's just it's a pretty, if you're a confident beginner, you could do that pattern. Edelweiss, it's more just like patience, because you can either cut out the applique and traditionally applique it on with the blanket stitch. But if you want to do the embroidery in the hoop, I mean, it's not hard. It's just embroidery in the hoop, but it takes a while, because that's a lot of embroidery in the hoop. So I made the full quilt, but then I also made like a little runner of just 3 kind of 12-inch blocks of the quilt. So you can do it just like as a runner or as a full quilt. When you do that, the files, basically they have placement stitches, and then you fuse the fabric on, and then they run the satin stitches, and then there's a triple stitch that you can add with a contrasting thread. So like here, you can't see it from where you are, but there's like little blue triple stitches. It's just embroidery in a hoop. It just takes a while. It's not hard, but you would have to be familiar with your embroidery machine.
Okay. And we're getting low on time. There is one last question. And it's not really so much a question, but a comment that I think is really cool, saying that we should include some of Andi and her hubby's recipe cards with the purchase of fabrics. That would be a fun idea. So Andi, when you watch this video back, we need to talk about doing some recipe cards. I think that would be a lot of fun. I know there were quite a few questions about Pat's collection. Actually, if you go to our website, benartex.com, and do a search for So Charming, you can see all of the fabrics, the patterns, and the information about that collection. So that's really all the time we have for questions. So we'll move into our closing. First, I want to thank everyone for coming to our virtual fabric show. We hope that you've enjoyed seeing all the fabrics and the projects and hearing from our talented fabric designers. Be sure to ask at your local quilt shop about the collections that you fell in love with, and we can't wait to see what you create. I do have a few upcoming events to let you all know about. Next week, next Tuesday, we will be doing a swatch and learn, which is for our subscribers of our Fat Quarterly publication. And it will feature myself along with Lisa Rubel, Rachel Rossi, and Jen Wagner. So there'll be an email going out about it. And you can also see information on our social media about the swatch and learn next week. If you are an Electric Quilt 8 user, an EQ8 user like myself, in November, we are doing a design challenge on the EQ8 blog using the Cheetos World collection by Kimberly Einmo, and we're really excited about that. So you will get more information on our social media or on the EQ8 blog, which is called Do You EQ? And have you heard the news about our new Harry Potter fabrics? We showed you a sneak peek of them during our Christmas in July virtual fabric show. And we have great news. They are now available in quilt shops across the country. We're going to show you a quick look at them. All right, so those are the Harry Potter fabrics. And we have several exciting Harry Potter themed events coming up in November. So please watch our social media channels and our emails for more details. First, we're having the Great Hogwarts Stitch Off, where you can show off projects that you've made with our Harry Potter fabrics during the month of November for a chance to win a fun prize. And we're also doing the Enchanted Isle challenge for quilt shops to share their Harry Potter displays in their quilt shop. So again, more information on both of these will be coming through our social media channels and through our emails. And I see that Maria Elena did put the name of the winners in. So congratulations to Karen, Peggy, and Judy for winning our fabulous fabric prize during this this episode of Virtual Fabric Show. And lastly, I'd like to thank all of my fabric designers that joined me here today and told you all about their new fabric collections. So thank you, Belle, Laura, Amanda, and as well as Pat, who sent the video, Andi, who wasn't able to make it, and Rob as well for his beautiful fabrics. So thank you guys all so much for being here. I really appreciate your time today. I'll give you a quick second to say goodbye to everybody, and then we'll wrap everything up. Belle?
Yes, thank you so much, Bendertex, for having me as a new designer and all of your support and help with this collection. And then to so many of you fabric shop owners and other customers there that joined today and that have reached out, I'm just so grateful to be here. So I'll look forward to seeing you all on Thread Life with Belle on YouTube and maybe on some of my other social media channels. And I can't wait to see all of the things that you make with Montgomery Mountain Charm.
Thanks, Belle. Laura?
Well, I'm just so happy you guys invited me here, and I hope you like the new fabric line. I'm having a lot of fun doing all sorts of stuff with it, so I do hope you guys enjoy it as well. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, thanks, Laura. And Amanda, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just giving you a
I
chance to
just
say
forgot
goodbye.
to turn on my video. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for coming to the virtual fabric show.
All right. And thank you all again for joining us today. Please be sure to come back tomorrow at 2 o'clock for our next session. And I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon and evening.